Hi, my name's Daryl, and here's your Jeep news for January 11th. So in my first story, this comes to us from Yahoo Finance, and it was announced at the Detroit Auto Show. Antonio Filoso, who's currently a Jeep CEO and kind of, I guess, North American kind of head of operations for Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. He announced that Jeep succeeded in getting rid of some of the inventory bloat, of getting rid of 100,000 units towards the end of December. And so, yeah, Stellantis had a lot of inventory on hand and a lot of older inventory on hand. So it's really good that Stellantis got rid of a lot of that inventory bloat and, kind of knocked out some of those older inventory that were sitting on lots. So congratulations to them for that. He said that it really cost them a lot, meaning that, they kind of sold it above what they really should have sold it. So yeah, they didn't make, the revenue, or probably lost revenue. But it's something that they really needed to do. Now, he said that Stellantis and the new CEO, whoever that turns out to be, I'm really hoping it's going to be Tim Kuniskis, but he said that they're going to face a number of challenges. And it comes from really the uncertainty with EV demand and a lot of technical challenges. A lot of automakers are really kind of in a tough spot, especially with the new administration coming in and, the threats to impose 25% tariffs from Mexico and Canada. So it's really an uncertain future for Stellantis as well as a lot of other automakers. So I think a lot of automakers are kind of taking a wait and see attitude to see what happens. And that takes us to our next story. So Transportation News is reporting that Stellantis is taking a kind of wait and see attitude in regards to some key decisions that they need to make about where new upcoming vehicles are going to be manufactured. And they're waiting for Trump to get into office and his administration just to see what happens. They're threatening the big tariffs on China, as well as 25% tariffs in Mexico and Canada. And Stellantis makes a lot of its vehicles, manufactures their vehicles in Canada and Mexico. So they're kind of waiting to see how the administration is going to approach this. They've already had some tough talks with the current administration. So as I had reported earlier, the new kind of auto czar for the Trump administration, his name is Benny Marino. He's really pushing Stellantis to break up and to give Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, put it in the hands of U.S. owners. And so, they've got that. They've got the 25% tariffs that Trump is threatening. They have some new vehicles that are going to be manufactured, like the new Cherokee. And they need to figure out where it's going to be built based on the administration policies that are going forward. So, they're not only having difficulties, but as I had said previously, other manufacturers are also just trying to figure out what the hell is going to happen here in the future. And so, yeah, it's going to be a real interesting year coming up for auto manufacturers and, basically for the entire country on kind of what happens and how the economy responds to the new administration coming into office. Now, in another real interesting story, and this comes to us from Mopar Insiders, seems the Chrysler brand was all set to get some new cars. So, poor Chrysler. The only thing they have on their stable of vehicles is the Pacifica. So yeah, I feel really sorry for them. Now, the Pacifica actually has done really well. They actually almost outsold all of Dodge for the last quarter. So yeah, it's still a great automobile, and I love me a minivan. But seems that this new crossover that was going to be built on the STLA large platform, and that's the same platform that the new Dodge Charger EV Daytona is built on, seems like that they're putting it on hold. And so, I can't say exactly what's going on here. It might have something to do with a lot of the problems that they're having with the Dodge Charger Daytona and them kind of bricking and not having really the reviews that they were expecting for that Dodge Charger. It seems like there's been a lot of problems with the calibration of the motor and the drivetrain. And so I think they're just taking a wait and see attitude on what happens with EV demand and whether or not they make this totally an EV vehicle or maybe if they go in a different direction. So yeah, poor Chrysler. Now in my last story, and I haven't seen this reported anywhere, I keep seeing stories about the Stellantis brand cutting prices by 20%, 30%, 40%. You know, I'm not really seeing that at the moment, but here's some concrete news of an MSRP drop that Jeep just made that I haven't heard anybody else talking about. So we all know from 2024 to 2025, the Jeep Gladiator actually went down in prices quite a bit. So they removed the manual transmission, and that was previously kind of the base engine option was the V6 Pentastar with a manual transmission. So they dropped the manual transmission, which to upgrade to the 8-speed automatic was like a $2,300 extra. So you're getting that for free basically now, and they also adjusted prices about $2,000 across the board from 2024 to 2025. But it seems, and I'm not exactly sure when this happened, but it seems in the last couple of days they dropped MSRPs even more. And so if I look at building a Jeep Gladiator, and you can see the prices here for the Jeep Gladiator, the previous MSRP on a Jeep Gladiator Sport was $39,995. So this was the previous MSRPs on all of the Gladiators. And if you compare that to what Jeep is offering now, you'll see pretty much across the board a $1,300 price drop. And so, yeah, I'm finally actually seeing an MSRP price drop, not just like a discount off of MSRP, but an actual MSRP price drop. So Jeep has been, the whole brand, as I had mentioned previously, they got rid of $100,000 or 100,000 vehicles of bloated inventory. So obviously they're making some really good deals out there. And so now with the Jeep Gladiator, if you are interested in it, you can make that, the start of your deal $1,300 lower than you could, just a couple of days ago. So now might be a really good time if you are interested in a brand new 2025 Jeep Gladiator to make a screaming deal. So yeah, I hope this helps somebody out there. And this is Daryl with your Jeep News, and I hope to see you in the next one again very soon.